Hey, what's up, all of you beautiful subscribers? Welcome back to the Chapple Show, where we talk about business and stock market news. So we're going to talk about a bunch of things today, like some tech stuff. We're going to talk about some personal finance stuff, a bunch of stock market stuff. But I want to lead off with this Amazon story. So when you buy something on Amazon, like headphones, I bought some headphones off Amazon. Usually what happens, you go on, add it to your cart, buy them, it's, whatever, $30. A small package arrives at your door within, 2 to 4 days usually. If you have Prime, it can be 1 to 2 days. If it's not Prime, then it can be up to a week, 2 weeks. Anyways, the thing shows up at your door, you open it up, and, well, you have your headphones, and you put them on, and you get to use them, and all that's good. Now, this is not the case for a couple that ordered some empty bins from Amazon. And they got a pretty nice surprise when they opened up the package. So they ordered these bins, and a couple days later, a couple of packages arrive at their door. But the packages were not filled with the bins that they ordered. They were filled with 65 pounds of marijuana. 65 pounds of marijuana arrived in the mail instead of these. Actually, were they inside the bins? It looks like they were inside the bins that they ordered. Think about that for a second. So 65, I want to see how much that actually goes for here. So how much does 1 pound of marijuana cost? How much would that cost? How much do you think, I'm just wondering, how much does a pound of bud cost? I'm actually really curious here. Anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000, sometimes $1,000. Is that actually the case? About $1,000? Okay, we're going to assume that's true. I have no idea about weed, about the cost of weed, but we're just going to say $1,000. So 65 grand worth of weed showed up in their Amazon package. So this couple, they obviously reported it to police. They launched an investigation. And a month later, this couple, they didn't even get an apology from Amazon. They just got a $150 gift card. There was no explanation for this. No one knows why a bunch of weed showed up in the package that they ordered. But I thought that this was kind of a nice, lighthearted way to start off this business news. So what would you do? Obviously, you'd probably report it to police, right? Like I would. Like, I don't smoke weed. I highly doubt I will. Maybe I'll try it in the future. Who really knows? But what would you guys do in the situation? How surprised would you be? 65 pounds of weed. And how did this get in there? That's like, was an Amazon employee... are they a drug dealer of some sort? Or was this a surprise or a joke, or maybe they just needed a way to get rid of this, some evidence or something? I don't know, but it's all packaged up nicely. I don't know. This is such a weird scenario. I don't even really know, but this also kind of proves that how vulnerable some of these Amazon facilities and packages can be. I mean, what if this, instead of weed, what if this was some sort of, I don't know, what if it was who knows, a bomb or something like that, okay, or some ricin or some poison or something like that, where the person opens up the package, all of a sudden, bad things happen, house explodes, everyone's dead. I mean, I don't know, this is just a really weird story. Obviously, this is the exception. 99.99999% of Amazon packages do not have 65 pounds of weed in them. But I thought that this was a funny story to start off with. We're going to talk about Amazon again in a little bit here in a few minutes, but we need to get to some of the a big stock market story today. So I want to talk about GE. So this title, I clicked on this article here because, I heard some things about GE, but it says GE's stock, General Electric stock, makes incredible comeback, closes 1% higher after earlier earnings disaster. So if you were just to see this article, you'd be like, oh, well, GE had a good day. They obviously, the investors looked past these earnings disasters, and the stock's up 1%. Well, that is not exactly the case. As of this current second, it is down 5.94% today. I believe here. Hopefully this will update. I think it's going to be around the same here. This was updated. Actually, it is updated. 6.25%. So GE is down 6.25% after they missed their earnings. But look at this chart here. If you're listening in podcast form, this chart here. So yesterday, after the market closed, the stock tanked after they announced their earnings release and how they missed. The stock tanked 6.5%. However, this morning, what the article was about, the stock rose 7.5%. So it had that 1% gain, but from the time that the article was published until the second, until this this was yesterday here. So from the time that this article was published up until right now, the stock's gone down 5.88% here. So the stock has dropped off again. And so, anyways, why is this? Obviously, they missed earnings. They may have to cut dividends. So people are GE has a good dividend yield. They've always had a pretty decent one. Their dividend's 4.29%. So that's the kind of stock that I would look at if it was a growth stock, if it was on its way up and not its way down. I mean, 4.29%, that's a pretty good dividend to get. That's a pretty good return on investment here. Wow, I didn't know that GE was part of the tech bubble. I didn't know. Wow, their share price was $59 in 2000. Huh, that's really interesting. I wonder if they had a dividend of 4% back then. Probably not. Anyways, dividend 4%, but GE is on its way down. It's restructuring actually. So the reasons why its earnings were down, by the way, was not because of just speculation or sorry, the reason the earnings were down was not because revenue was down tons. It was because they're restructuring the company to adapt to a changing energy field, and that's just what they're doing. It's a good strategy for the long term, but in the short term, it's going to hurt the share price. It's going to hurt the company in the short term. Long term, it'll probably be fine here. So that's what this article says. Anyways, actually, that's not what the article said here, but I'm just said the article here explains a little bit more about GE. So maybe I'll link that down below. Okay, let's get back to this Amazon here thing that I promised. Another Amazon thing. So Amazon, they launched their handmade gift shop, essentially, or craft and gift shop in like 2015, 2016. And it's been going okay, but now they want to expand that. They want to expand their crafts and, their artists and their handmade and their homemade stuff and start having people sell those on Amazon. And so the very first thing I thought when I saw the title of this is going to kill Etsy. Before I even looked at this article, before I even did further research, I just this is going to tank the Etsy stock, because that's just what happens when Amazon announces stuff like this. So I took a look. Etsy down 3.42%. It might be down a little bit more. Hopefully this will update. What's it currently at? 15 point. Should change a little bit here. So it's down 3.51% today after this Amazon announcement here. So again, share price is at about $16.40-ish, and now currently at, what's it currently at? $15.80 here. But it actually tanked earlier. It's actually gone up 1.7% since its bottom out this morning. So who knows what this is going to do for Etsy. Etsy obviously has a lot of very loyal, I guess, loyal sellers on their site. Probably have loyal buyers too. And it's the thing about Etsy is that it's one of those specialized niche stores, websites, online retailers where, if you want to sell something online that's handmade, you're going to go to Etsy. You're not going to think of going to Amazon for that. On Etsy, you can kind of have your own store. Amazon, you cannot. You just post products, right? So we're going to see what happens with Etsy over the next few months or so. I expect things to be fine with them. I wonder if Etsy's actually growing I think that I remember looking over their annual report. They're still, last year, oh yeah, they've only been public for about a year and a half, right? So last year, they had their company was starting to go a little bit down in terms of revenue, but I think that they're rebounding now. They've rebounded in the spring and summer this year after earnings, but anyways, we're going to keep an eye on Etsy here. So what do you think? Would you sell... If you're an artist or a designer or something out there, would you start selling your stuff on Amazon, or do you like Etsy better? Because Etsy is that niche site just for artists and just for people that are into selling and buying handmade and craft stuff. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. So a little bit more Amazon news. I know I'm kind of getting fed up with talking about them. But Amazon headquarters, we have to talk about that, because they announced that 238 cities applied for their second headquarters. Think about that. 238 cities, or I guess counties, say here. And they say that they want a massive complex. I've talked about this, so I just wanted to brush over this quickly. Amazon's saying that they'll invest $5 billion in a massive complex, bring in 50,000 jobs. They want massive tax breaks. And so 238 people. Now, there's actually a big rumor right now that Amazon is very much leaning towards going into one of the flyover states, as they are called, because they're willing to give the best tax advantages. And because a lot of those flyover states, they don't have a booming tech sector. And if they want to keep up with the rest of the world, they're going to need to adapt. And so they're willing to give massive, massive tax breaks to a company like Amazon here in the future. Anyways, What do you guys think of that? Do you think it'd be a good idea for Amazon to move to a Midwestern town? I don't know. It's kind of a weird... People are saying Denver. They're not a flyover state, really. Denver, Colorado. But I don't know. Where do you think the Amazon headquarters should go? Do you think that they should go to, like... There's obviously rumors like New Jersey, Baltimore, New York, obviously. But I think that... I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do here. Does Amazon want to go to another big city, or do they want to go to like a suburb somewhere and turn that into their own hub? That might be a good decision. I don't know. I don't know enough about the insides of Amazon to give you the best answer here, but I'm just curious as to what you guys think about this whole Amazon headquarters situation here. Where do you think that they should go? All right, we're going to talk about some tech stuff, and then we're going to move on to some personal finance and then some more stock stuff. And we'll close this video out here. So I thought that this was really cool. This article's from TechCrunch here, and they said that Affirm, I've never heard of this app, and I just wanted to talk about it. Affirm launches, not a firm, Affirm is what the company's called, launches app to break purchases into monthly payments, which I think is fascinating. So this company was started by the PayPal co-founder Max Levchin. So the guy who worked with Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, this guy made this app. Pretty much you can go online with companies that they are partnered with, and they will break down, a $300 purchase into, $300 purchases over 1 month, or $300 payments over 2-3 months, or whatever the number is. I thought that was really cool, because this is an idea, again, I'd never thought of, but it's kind of simple. It's like this is they're kind of their own credit card company without being a credit card company. They're a credit card company that's an app, essentially, in a way, or a bank that's an app, like giving out loans. This is a really cool idea, and I might actually look into something like this for my site here. If I could do something like this, I don't know if that'll work out or not. But I'm very, very interested. Some sort of financing option. I don't know. I'm really, really curious about that. About how does this company check who will be best for who will be able to use this app? I mean, are they going to sign up anyone? Do they do background checks? Do they do credit checks? I mean, who do they allow to use this app? Because think about it, if there could be some poor person out there with, $50 in their bank account. They want to buy a $1,000 TV from Amazon or something, $500 TV. And if this app doesn't, do any background checks, they'll be like, okay, so this person doesn't have the money. They're probably not going to pay us, but we're going to allow them to use that. But how did they actually check the customers? I'm really curious as to how they do that. And would you guys use this app? I mean, this is something that I would think about for sure, because when you're building a business, there's kind of this rule here, which I'm kind of learning as I go, is that keep your payments as low as possible. Keep your monthly payments as low as possible. Keep your overhead as low as possible. It might, having an extra $200 in the short term could be worth $1,000 in the next 6 months. For a small business, if that makes sense, because you could use that $200 for whatever ads, you could use it for $200 for inventory, and if you're able to pay instead of paying $500 up front, maybe pay $150 a month, or $100 a month over 5 months. I mean, it keeps more money in your pocket up front. And so, but then again, you're going into debt, which this is a really weird scenario, but I would actually look at this if I were you guys, and just me personally. So what do you guys think of this app? I think it's cool. Go check it out. Yeah, we're going to move on to the next topic here. I want to talk about, this is just a random one. I want to talk about TiVo. TiVo, their next TiVo box is going to have voice support. Voice support, guys. No more having to get up and, get up to find the remote. Be like, hey, TiVo, go to channel 428 or something. It also supports 4K resolution here, 500 gigabytes of storage space. It's also going to come with a remote, obviously. But the voice support here can be really big, because this is something I'm going to look at. I will be looking at in the future for sure. Not having to use your remote for all this stuff. I think it'd be cool. Because those times when you do lose your remote and whatever, it's 8 o'clock and your show's about to start, it's not TiVo'd, it's not recorded, maybe it's a live sporting event, who really knows? You just be like, hey, TiVo, whatever, turn to channel XYZ. So I think that's just a cool idea. Will you guys get this? I wonder what the price is actually. I wonder what the tag is here. I guess it's probably is it a monthly thing? Do they include this with cable providers? I'm not sure what their business plan is here. Anyways, that's a really cool tech thing I just want to talk about quick. Last thing before we move on to some personal finance and stock market stuff. This pissed me off. Okay, so when I was building my e-commerce marketplace, my payment system, which I'm just my payment system, it's 100% functional. It's just I'm like touching up to make sure like all the prices line up exactly and everyone gets the exact payments and stuff. I'm touching up on that a little bit here. But when I was looking at this, that was my major hurdle. I didn't know how the payment system would work. You guys know my vlog. The one thing I was very nervous about was the payment system. I had no idea how to set it up. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do the shopping cart or anything like that. Now I do. But I was looking at online payment gateways so that I didn't have to like contact Visa myself and make sure that they approved my site for using their credit cards. So I looked at PayPal for hosting on my e-commerce marketplace. However, they did not have any sort of marketplace, what's the word here, support especially for, they don't even have it for Canada right now, but they just launched it. Right now, about a month after I started building my site, they launched their marketplace support here. They're rolling it out right now. They went in individually and started approving developers on a one by one to make sure it all works. But they're a little bit late to the party. Stripe already won my business. Stripe had an e-commerce marketplace all set up, and that's actually one of the reasons why Stripe has done so well. I mean, think about Stripe. Stripe wasn't even a company 6 years ago, and now they're worth $17 billion or something like that. And it's all because they released support. They said, this is how you integrate it in your site. This is how you set it up. Even if it's not a marketplace, this is how you put Stripe on your site. Here's the code. Here's what you need to do with the code. And, here's this, and it's really simple. Actually, it's not really simple, but they give you the outline for the code, and PayPal didn't really do that for marketplaces, and now they're just starting to. And now Stripe, the other thing too is you don't need to go through any approval process. PayPal, you still do, and so that's one of the things I still picked Stripe over, is that I don't need to get approved for anything. It's just like if I screw up, they'll just cancel my account. But I thought this was a really interesting thing here because, well, it's a little bit late. Now that PayPal's in 200 markets, sellers in over 120 markets here. So would I have picked PayPal over Stripe? I don't think so, actually. I don't. I've used PayPal before and I've used Stripe before. I like Stripe a lot more. I like the user interface on Stripe a lot more too. PayPal's is a little bit funky. So anyways, I thought that was interesting. I just wanted to talk about that today because that is my frustration that they are just launching this now and not a month ago when I needed it. Okay. Let's move on to Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban says why you should buy 2 years supply of toothpaste at a time. And this is something that I've talked about before. Maybe I'll make when I make my return to my finance videos with the whiteboard and stuff in the next few weeks, I will talk about something like this, about how, like, look, what's the point he's trying to make here is that it's really hard to get a good return on investment if you're the average person. If you have $100 in your bank, or if you have $200, $500, $1,000 in your bank account, you don't have enough to invest in the stock market, which is the average person, by the way. If you do not have enough money to invest in the stock market and you're 25, 26, 27 years old, you're average. All right. You shouldn't, most young people in their 20s don't have more than a few $100s in their bank account. And the net worth is only a couple $1,000. If you include debt, it's actually negative, which is quite amazing. But Mark Cuban here says, so look, the best thing you can do as an investment is, instead of investing in the stock market if you don't have a lot of money, or in real estate, or whatever you don't have enough money to actually invest in, just go to the store, and when toothpaste is on sale for 50, 60, 70% off, buy 2 years worth of it. And I do this with food specifically. Even though I'm doing pretty well right now, I'm doing okay, I still go to my local grocery store, and when the chicken's on sale for 60% off, which it actually is once a month, 60 to 70% off, I buy platters of that. That'll last me for another month until the next time I go, when I can actually buy it on sale. And that's one of the biggest things you can do. That saves me probably $50 a month worth of chicken right there, $50 a month. And if you do that for enough things, like you do it for toothpaste, like Mark Cuban says, you do it for whatever your expense, I don't know, whatever your normal expenses are, toothpaste or toilet paper or Kleenex or vitamins or whatever it is, just buy in bulk on sale. That's what you got to do. So this could be even on Amazon too. Amazon stuff goes on sale all the time. They do a lot of sales. Now, they don't have 60% off a lot, but they do have 13% off, 20% off, and you just buy a bunch at once, and it works out. By the way, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about today too, is that I learned that because whenever I've used Amazon, I've always bought product. I've always had orders that are, over $50 for the most part, even hundreds of dollars. Some were even thousands of dollars that I've ordered from Amazon. In terms of stuff like that I've actually bought on there. I think my biggest order was probably $4,500 worth of stuff. And so I didn't know that there was this problem on Amazon that they do not do Amazon Prime for items that are under $25. If your order is under $25, they will not ship to you in 2 days. I did not know that. And so this is another advantage for me, is that I'm willing to ship anything. Even if it's $2, if it's $1, anything will get to your house in 24 hours, hopefully 12 hours, probably 24 hours at max. And why is this? Because, Amazon ships a bunch of stuff. They have to allocate resources and time and all that stuff. I get it. They want to have larger orders so that they don't waste their time, spending $5 in gas to ship a $1 eraser, right? We're going to see how that works out for me because I'm small, not a lot of overhead. I just want to keep happy customers more than anything. So we're going to see what happens there. Maybe I'll have to put in limits. I don't really know. But what do you guys think about this? Buying in bulk. Do you guys buy everything on sale? Let me know in the comments down below. Is that one of the ways that you save money? It's one of the ways that I save money. Anyway, so let's move on to some stock market stuff, and then we'll close out here. Two things. I want to talk about Hasbro, because Hasbro had a really weird story come out today because their earnings were actually okay, I believe here. Did they announce earnings here? Or their outlook for their earnings? Their earnings this quarter are supposed to be really good for quarter 3 in their revenue and all that. However, they also announced that Toys R Us is because Toys R Us is collapsing, it's going to really hurt holiday sales, especially with Star Wars products. So the stock's down 9% today, just because of the Toys R Us collapse, which is quite astounding to think about. I'm still amazed that Toys R Us, I still have one by my parents' house, and the thing's massive. And I remember going there every 2 weeks as a kid and buying everything there. And now knowing that that's all bankrupt, I actually went into that store to look and see if I can get a video game, because my old office was actually by the Toys R Us. It's actually really close to it, to be honest. But so I went in there and I was looking for NBA 2K18 or something. I just wanted to play some video games. I went in there. No one was in there. And I realized I hadn't been in a Toys R Us in about a decade. And I used to go in there. It used to be packed. And now not only was there no one in there, I went in. They did not have a video game that was released after the year of 2016. They did not have a single 2017 video game in there. And a lot of their shelf space was empty, a lot of it. It was really weird. It's kind of sucks to see, because that was my childhood Toys R Us. I used to go in there all the time. I used to love it. But back to the Hasbro thing here. So Hasbro is I don't know. I feel like they're one of the companies that have actually been okay with the past 5 years. I remember looking at them. Yeah, they've been okay the past 5 years. They've actually been growing as a company, even though the retail space has been going a little bit down here. Actually, they hit their peak. Think about this. Hasbro as a company hit their peak in July of this year, and they sell toys. And why is this? Oh, Wizards of the Coast. What's Wizard? Is that publisher of games? What's Wizards of the Coast? Is that Magic? No, it's not. Wizards of the Coast. Oh my God, that's why, guys. I did not know this. Hasbro owns Magic the Gathering. They own Dungeons and Dragons, Duel Masters. Oh my God, they have, again, Magic is still a fairly popular thing, and I just didn't even know that. Play School, they own Tonka. Well, I know Play School, I know Tonka. What else did they own here? Tiger Electronics, eh? Wow, I did not know that Hasbro owned all of these companies here. Let's see, a lot of the Cranium. Oh, I remember Cranium. Huh, that's really interesting. So, And yeah, so anyways, that was just Hasbro. I just want to talk about them quickly. They're down big today, even though their earnings were okay. It's just their future outlook for this year is not going to be too good. Let's move on to the last stock market thing I want to talk about, Seagate. Seagate, currently, they're pretty much make your hard drive. They actually made my hard drive. Mine has a couple terabytes, an external hard drive here. So they're a tech company. They're up 13% today because they beat earnings. 13%. Look at this jump here. Look at this spike. So they're sitting at $39.50 a share. Whoa, though. Whoa. So in July, they must have had terrible earnings, though, because they're at the same share price as they were of July of this year, July 24th of this year. That's really weird. They tanked 18% in one day in July, and they made that almost all back up today. Wow. That's amazing. So I feel like they make other things too. I know that they're largely hard drives, but what else did they do? What does Seagate also do? Does anyone know? I know people are probably yelling through the YouTube, but they make this, they make that, they make all of this stuff. Seagate products? Oh, not product registration. Gosh darn it. Products. What else did they make? Carrot powder? What? You're kidding. Is this a thing? They sell supplements? No. This has got to be the wrong site. It's got to be the wrong site here. Seagate Tech Products. There's no what. Oh, okay, yeah. So I guess Seagate's also a supplement company or something? Or is this all under the same thing? This looks really similar. This is really weird. Really, really weird, guys. Anyways, they make hard drives. They make all your SSD cards, I guess. I just wanted to check up on that. All right, so I think that's going to close out this video for now. Today's stock market business news. That's kind of what was important to me today. There was a few other big stories like Social Security. I was going to touch on that. Maybe I should. They're just making some big changes here. I read over it. And for Social Security in the United States, what they're going to do is they're going to increase the age by 1 year that you can get Social Security. So I think they want it to be 66 years old. Now, that part's allegedly, I couldn't get a direct answer from that, but here's the other changes too, is that you're allowed to increase the maximum monthly benefit by $100. So you, instead of taking it $2,700, you're able to take it $2,800 a month and receive that. And you're also going to get a 2% increase in the total amount that you get too, for a cost of inflation, cost of living increase, which is the biggest increase in the past like 6 years or so. So Social Security, there's some changes coming to that. I really always feel bad for people that have to rely on Social Security. And also too is that they're going to make wealthy people and employers pay more for that, which is, I don't like that, but it's, actually, well, I don't know how I feel about that, because I looked at, people don't really realize this, but in Canada, at least, I don't know what it is in the United States, on the first, $60,000 that an employer makes, you actually you get taxed double. You have to pay in, you get taxed double what your employee makes on the first $60,000, which is, I think it's a little bit crazy, but I don't know. I guess that they just don't want to encourage small business, because it should be, maybe increase taxes as the business gets bigger, not on your first 60 grand when you're just starting to make some money. But, that's my opinion. What do you guys think about that? I don't know. That's just a weird situation for me. All right, I think that we're going to wrap up this video here. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching. You can check out my stock market or wealth accelerator program in the link below if you want to learn how to set up your stock market account, or if you want to learn how to start a business, what it takes to run a business. There's like 14, 16 hours of content on there. So feel free to check that out, and stay tuned, because I'm going to do a soft launch for the website. I think it might be sooner than you think. I'm not going to talk about it in a video, but hopefully in the next week or so, maybe in one of my videos, I'll just subtly put a link down in the description below for a website. It's not going to be on this video, but I'll just put a link down in the description below. This is my e-commerce alpha version. Let me know how it goes, kind of deal. So anyways, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. You're all very beautiful people, and I'll see you guys in the next video.